Alright, just getting everything set up here. Give me one moment, please. Make sure this is working. Alright, looks like we're on. Alright, perfect. Well, I'm going to get started right away here because there's a lot going on. So just zooming out here, obviously we have warning extending all the way across Illinois here. So there's really no avoiding this this storm here. Let me just make sure the quality is all right here. I'm not sure why. Hang on one second here. Why is it doing this? All right, I'm gonna have to restart here. All right, that's a little better, hopefully. All right, so again, we have a whole line of warnings here, extending down from Wisconsin all the way into northeastern Missouri here. Lots of tornado warnings here too, so I'm just going to start with the tornado warnings. Looks like the one that just was issued for Rockford a few minutes ago has moved east out of Rockford. It looks like there was a funnel cloud reported by broadcast media right just east of Winnebago in the Rockford area there. Excuse me. And then we also have a new tornado warning. I just got the alert for this one for the northern half of DeKalb County. This goes along I-88 north here. So this is for the entire northern half of DeKalb County. Radar indicated here, severe thunderstorms, yes, from moving east at 40. So these storms are moving east at a pretty good clip here. And then we have these larger severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for just broad areas of 70 to 80 mile an hour winds. It looks like this warning in particular is for 70 mile an hour winds. But really this whole line here is producing anywhere from 60 to 80 mile per hour winds. And this part of the line that's about to hit Peoria here is actually really the strongest segment right now. You can see this large tornado warning here, very large tornado warning, just northwest of Peoria here. Looks like that's radar indicated as well. Not seeing any reports of tornadoes at this time. But what we do have is reports of wind gusts. I've seen some 90 to 100 mile an hour wind gusts along this line. I'm trying to find the last official report we got here. Let's see. Wow. All right. Yeah, it looks like here, I'm going to switch to velocity here so we can get a sample of some of these wind speeds in here. So you can see here along this line here, again, on the right, on the left, this is just normal radar, but on the right here, this is a velocity. So where you see green, this is particles, or in this case it's detecting raindrops. The radar is going towards the radar and the red is away, so you can see this gust front, I guess if you want to call it here, along the leading edge of this bow echo. And we've had reports of 70 to 80 and even higher, 90 to localized 100 mile an hour wind gusts with this segment here. I'm going to switch to a little bit of a closer radar view here. I think, yeah, this is going to be a little closer. So this is switching radars here. This gives us a bit of a better look at the front of this storm here heading into the Peoria area. You can see there's a very large tornado warning for these embedded circulations here. I'm circling some of them. And it's kind of hard to tell, exactly where there are, but what these tornado warnings are for is they're for these embedded circulations along the leading edge of this very strong line here. And if we use the sample tool here, we have wind speeds, that the radar is sampling 70 to 80 miles an hour. Locally, we've seen even higher gusts reaching the surface. So you can see, again, just very impressive velocity here. Lots of wind in this storm. You might have a wind that is, 60 to 70 miles an hour, last for 10 to 20 minutes in some places here, especially with this segment here heading into Peoria, the Peoria area here. Again, we have this very large tornado warning in effect for Marshall County, northeastern Fulton County, Stark County, and Knox County, and then also part of Peoria County as well. So again, this is just for this whole line here, embedded circulations, but even, where there aren't going to be embedded, where there aren't embedded circulations, there are, very strong wind gusts, 70 to 80 miles an hour here, and even higher in some cases. So I'm going to, let's see, so we have another warning that went out few minutes ago here. This is for Putnam County, Bureau County. This is a severe thunderstorm warning, but this is for, you can see it mentions destructive winds for Princeton, McNabb, and Hennepin, 80-mile-an-hour wind gusts. So this is really what we're dealing with here. This whole line is producing strong to severe wind gusts, again, in some cases, 70 to 80 miles an hour, even higher in some places. Trying to see if... all right, so Fulton County Emergency Management reporting a tornado west of Farmington, and also some... I see. Well, that's not really where the storms are right now. So again, this whole... where these tornado warnings are, there's another one up here. This is for, looks like for... Western Bureau County, Eastern Henry. Again, they mentioned the severe squall line capable of producing both tornadoes and extensive straight line wind damage from Hoopdale to Altona. Again, it's really this whole line, though, just about anywhere from just southwest of Peoria all the way up to the Wisconsin border is producing anywhere from, again, 60 to 80 mile an hour winds along it. You can see each one of these little wind icons here is a report of either severe wind or wind damage. Again, I've seen some of these reports in particular of, upwards of 80 miles an hour, which that does some significant damage once you get up to there. Again, I'm trying to look for some new reports here. I had them all coming in right before I started, of course. So it really looks like this area here near Kewanee is the strongest part here. There's kind of, you can see this little... I'm going to put the velocity back on. Kind of this little area here where you see the kind of that curl right there, kind of like that. So what you typically have is, just south of here where this tornado warning is, down to the Peoria area, you have embedded circulations along that area. But right here, you might have a bit more of a significant tornado threat just east of the moving towards Putnam County. Probably going to go right in between, or just south of Princeton towards Granville eventually. And this is moving east-southeast here again. And again, even, if there isn't a tornado in here, you have at least 70 to 80 mile an hour winds. Again, depending on the radar you use, it's hitting the storm at different heights, so you might have different wind speeds that it's showing. We'll go to Davenport here. It's a little closer to this northern part of the storm. So again, you can really see here on the right, just northwest of Wyoming near Tulan. I think I said that wrong. But the radar is sampling, really strong winds in there, to 80 miles an hour at least. I believe a new tornado warning just went out here, so this is kind of that area I was just talking about. This is for, I believe, the southern half of Bureau County and Putnam County here. So this is really the most dangerous part of this whole line right now, is this really, this rather large area of embedded circulations. You might have some, embedded tornadoes along the leading edge of this line, but again, widespread 80 mile an hour winds, even where you don't have tornadoes. So I'm going to go back north a little bit here real quick. So again, I just mentioned that tornado warning that was issued for DeKalb County, and I can actually see some of those circulations, one right over Malta, another one over the Kirkland area. You might actually have two right there, one just south of Kirkland and one right over Kirkland. And then another one here just southeast of Cherry Valley. And you could probably make an argument for even a couple more in some spots, but there's at least 3 to 4 areas of embedded circulation here along this line. And if we loop it, you can kind of see how this is moving almost due east right now. And it hasn't, it hasn't really changed too much in the last 15 to 20 minutes or so, I'd say, but this whole line is pretty, packing a very large punch. There has been numerous wind damage reports. Again, there was a observed gust of 64 miles an hour at the Rockford Airport, it looks like, a little while ago. At least a funnel cloud reported in near downtown Rockford. And then we also have the flood threat, too, especially in the Rockford area where they saw, anywhere from 4 to 9 inches of rain over the last 2 to 3 days. So again, you have the wind is the main threat with all this. Again, embedded tornadoes, of course, too. And then flash flooding will also be an issue. You're going to have flooding occurring very rapidly with how heavy the rain's going to come down. Of course, you don't want to be driving through this. If you're able to stay put tonight, that would be a good idea. But this is a pretty very intense line of storms that is moving east-southeast here. So again, if you're in the Chicago area, you notice obviously it's getting dark, the sun's going down, but you'll start to notice lightning to the west soon if you can't see it already. And this line is moving at about 40 to 50 miles an hour to the east-southeast. So this will be in here. I'll try to time it out a bit here. So this will be, let's see, right now it is here. So this is really going to be in downtown Chicago in about the next hour and a half or so. It's going to be, I'll try to draw some lines here. I would say this is about not perfect there, but this is about in the next hour here, and then I would say the 2-hour line will be something kind of like that. Not perfect there again, but again, let's see what time it is right now. It's about 8:20 right now, so I would say between now and 9:30, this area here. This is approximate, and then I would say 9:30 to 10:30 for this area to the right here, this section here. So that's kind of a time, and then again, if I could best kind of place it here, I would say around this line here at 10. So again, I would say in the next hour or so to this line, and then next hour to 2 hours in this second section over here. So I'll loop it again for you here. While I check for any new reports, trying to see. Let's see. All right. So again, this part of the line here, I would say, is the strongest here across north central Illinois, kind of right along I-80 here, where you have this really long line of tornado warnings extending all the way from here near Ladd all the way down to Canton, southwest of Peoria. That's almost 70 miles of continuous tornado warnings. And again, this obviously not. This is for embedded tornadic circulations along the line. You can kind of see how there's little notches here along. I can't speak. Along the line, there's notches in different places, and that's where you might have these brief, very fast-moving spin-up tornadoes. But again, even where you don't have these, nope, got another warning here. You're probably going to hear the weather radio go off here in a second. But again, even where you don't have tornado warnings, you have, wind. Oh, there it is. That was loud. Wind gusts in excess of 60 to 80 miles an hour, depending on exactly where you're at. So again, we have this new new severe thunderstorm warning for it looks like Kendall, northern LaSalle, southeastern DeKalb, and then southern Kane County here. This is for 70 mile an hour winds. Doesn't mention a tornado possible tag in there. So it looks like, if anything, this area along the line here, where there's no tornado warnings, this is, looks like, at least as of right now, pure damaging wind threat here as this heads towards Yorkville, Oswego, eventually Joliet, those areas. But that is, again, a pure damaging wind threat, at least as of right now. But we do have a lot of embedded circulations, especially with the southern segment of the line here approaching Peoria up towards Putnam County. And then we have a lot of embedded circulations as well with this segment here over the northern half of DeKalb County into just east of Rockford here. I don't think they've updated the tornado warnings here. But again, I'll take another look at velocity and kind of point out these circulations here. Circle some of them. They're a little less well defined now, but you can still definitely see where some of those might be. One of these is heading towards Kingston, Genoa, for sure, and then there's another one here, a little more less defined than it was a minute ago, heading right for DeKalb, Sycamore area. So at least 3 right now. Again, there's probably more that the radar just isn't picking up. Just because they're evolving pretty quickly. But again, anywhere where there is a tornado warning here from northern DeKalb County here into, southern Winnebago. Oh, they just canceled it, actually. So, okay. So this tornado warning up here is gone for southern Winnebago, or for, I guess, a good chunk of Winnebago County. That tornado warning has been canceled, but this tornado warning for DeKalb County, let me just give it a double check here. It is, yes, I think it is still in effect. It says it was canceled for Ogle County, so that was a different one. So again, this active tornado warning is for the northern half of DeKalb County. We do have embedded circulations, and again, I'm starting to see another sign of one here. This is, I just said that right now we weren't seeing any over here, but now we kind of are. This one heading towards Waterman, Hinckley. This might eventually head towards Aurora, maybe towards the Oswego area. So we just really have to watch these notches along the line here. But again, anywhere where this line hits, there's going to be 60 to 80 mile an hour wind gusts. So if you're out ahead of this line, now is the time to make any preparations, bring anything in that might be blown around or blown away. And then, of course, if you're under one of these tornado warnings, hopefully you're in your safe spot, whether that be a basement, a crawl space, a bathroom, wherever it may be. Again, the strongest of circulations right now, I would probably say this one kind of heading towards DeKalb, Sycamore, and then this one near Kingston here as well, heading towards Genoa. Those are kind of the two, best defined areas of circulation right now. But there's a lot, and again, there's almost impossible to warn, this whole line here, unless they did put out warnings for the whole line, of course. But there's, anywhere along this line you might have a, quick little spin up here at least. But again, the main threat is the very damaging strong wind gusts. I'm going to switch down here. Again, we're getting a look at this segment about to head into Peoria. So if you're in Peoria or anywhere in the Peoria area, you really want to be taking this seriously. We have radar is picking up velocity data up to 80 miles an hour right now, so it would not be surprising if some of that is making it to the surface. And then, of course, we have that tornado warning still in effect for embedded circulations as well. All right, getting an update here from National Weather Service in Chicago. They did just write something that said that they are seeing an increase in low-level wind shear, which means that's not a good sign, because that means as this heads into the Chicago area, as low-level wind shear increases, those spin-up tornadoes along the leading edge of this might become more common over the next hour or so. So we'll have to watch that very closely. Obviously, they're keeping an eye on that if they mentioned it, so we'll be watching to see if they issue any more tornado warnings. I am looking at this spot right here, heading towards Hinckley, near Waterman right now, that I just pointed out here. That is definitely an area that I would watch closely. I would not be surprised if they put out a tornado warning here for southern DeKalb County into maybe even southern Kane County, maybe extreme northern Kendall County eventually, as this works east-southeastward here. But you can kind of see, looking at this velocity data again, where you have the red and greens touching, that's where you have rotation essentially. And that is where, those spin-up tornadoes will happen. But it might be hard to, you won't be able to see them coming, because this is, just a big wall of storms, basically. You have 60 to 80 mile an hour winds behind this, or I should say with this, as it comes through. You can see it's a pretty big storm here. It's once it hits you, it'll last for a little while. It won't be a quick 10-minute storm, that's for sure. It's at least, I would say, 30 miles across, so it'll take some time to work through your area, and those strong winds might last a long time, too. So I'm going to go back and kind of do an overview of everything here, just because I tried to start with the tornado warnings, and, things can kind of, one thing leads to another, and get sidetracked pretty quick there. Let's see. Seeing any more? I'm not seeing any new reports as of right now. So I guess that's good news that we haven't been getting any significant reports in the last 10 to 15 minutes or so. So that might be a sign that at least some of those really high wind speeds, 80 plus miles an hour, have come down at least a little bit for the moment. Don't want to say that for sure, though, because of course, this is still a very serious line of storms here. I would assume that they're about to issue either another severe warning or some sort of tornado warning here for the Peoria area here. This is about to exit that tornado warning right there, so I would assume that they're about to issue, at least a 70 mile an hour considerable considerable severe thunderstorm warning for the Peoria area. Oh, there it is, as I was saying. So this is a really big one. This goes all the way down to Bloomington normal, actually. So this is for 70 mile an hour winds, considerable tag. So this is again, moving southeast at 55 miles an hour, so these storms are picking up some steam. So it looks like those really crazy high wind speeds that we might have been seeing when I first started this stream have maybe come down a little bit, at least near the Peoria area, so that's good. But again, I'm not trying to minimize anything. This is still a very strong to dangerous storm. 60 to 70 mile an hour wind gusts are likely throughout anywhere really along this line, not just down here, all the way up to the Wisconsin border, really. You can see how this is just a pretty massive line of storms here. And I'm going to try to read some comments here in a minute. I haven't even been able to look, but I'm going to try to take a look at some comments here and answer some questions. But again, it's hard to answer everybody. I know we have quite a few people watching right now. But let's see. Yeah. All right, again, just checking for reports real quick here. Not seeing anything new as of right now. All right. All right, so, okay. So again, this is switching back to, so this is, again, is looking at velocity here. So this is showing kind of, giving us an idea of wind speeds here as the storm moves eastward. And again, this is the radar samples it. The radar is right here in Romeoville, so it samples it, at an angle. But you can see the radar, or it is sampling, widespread 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts at least, well back into this storm. So, like I said before, strong wind gusts may persist for a while once they start. Like I said, the good news is, at least as of right now, we're not seeing any, extreme wind values like we were a little while ago. A little bit further west, we were seeing some, 80 to 90, even close to 100-mile-an-hour wind gusts. It does look like, potentially some of those have come down to the 60 to 70, maybe some still localized 80-mile-an-hour wind range, which is, still very strong and damaging, but, that's... once you get to 90 and above, that's kind of reaches a new level. But again, we are watching along the leading edge of this line here these areas of rotation, and that is why this tornado warning is still in That is why this tornado warning is still in effect here for northern DeKalb County. So I'm going to point some of these out here. Again, one of them is right here near Waterman, just north now, kind of heading due east here. There was another one right over DeKalb. I believe we had a report from a spotter that showed possible funnel cloud trying to come down a few minutes ago, but haven't seen any updates from that. I'm trying to check right now here. So again, but I would say this Waterman area of circulation is the most concerning as of right now. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here so we can get a closer look. Just north of Waterman here, again, going to probably just slide just north of Hinckley as well. But this is heading due east. I would not be surprised if they issued another tornado warning here for southern DeKalb County. Again, this will eventually be pushing towards Big Rock, Sugar Grove, eventually towards Aurora if it makes it that long. But again, this whole line is producing at least 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts, likely to 70 in many locations as well. And again, I'm just going to take this little finder tool, and you can see how the radar is picking up, some 70-mile-an-hour pockets in there, a little less as you get further south. Again, this northern part of the line looked a little windier. Oh, there's another warning. All right, so looks like another tornado warning just went out. Looks like this one is for, in case you needed any more storm ambiance, there's the annoying weather radio tone for you. So this is another tornado warning here. This is kind of an extension of that one moving out of DeKalb County. This is for McHenry County, southwestern McHenry County, southeastern Boone County as well. This is moving, east here. Again, we have those notches all along the line, really. You can circle, you could probably find even more than I'm about to circle here. Again, we had one that is kind of falling apart a little bit heading towards Genoa, another one just south. There's another one kind of over Sycamore, another one that just exited DeKalb, and then the strongest one is over Waterman. Like I said, I would not be surprised if they put a tornado warning out for southeastern DeKalb County here, into maybe even southwestern Kane County here in a little bit. But again, we'll have to watch that very closely. They haven't put out a new tornado warning for that yet, that area of circulation yet, but again, there are many areas along this line of embedded circulation. That's really the threat for the next, hour and a half to 2 hours as this works its way across northern and central Illinois is, embedded tornadic circulations here anywhere along the line. You can kind of just see, looking at it, how you have these little kind of kinks in the line, little notches, I guess. Like I said, you can see the Waterman one from far away. This is getting a little more messier up here where the new tornado warning was just issued. Maybe even trying to get one to develop here just west of Sandwich. But this is all moving eastward. So again, Aurora, Oswego, Joliet, Naperville, Downers Grove, Schaumburg. You have about, I would say, an hour at most until this is right on top of you. And again, all along this line, anywhere, 60 to 70 mile an hour wind gusts, locally higher even. And then these embedded tornadoes are what we are, of course, trying to pick out here along the way. We do have one area here where everything is one area of maybe stronger rotation, where it looks like we're having these kind of two line segments try to converge here, and that is moving right into Putnam County here, just north of Henry, as it moves due east here, eventually heading into Streator. So if you're in the Streator area, you definitely want to keep a close eye on that, because if we do, most of these tornadoes and most of the tornado warnings and circulations we've seen have been relatively weak and brief, likely weaker tornadoes. But if we do get a stronger tornado out of this setup, it would likely be in this area here, where you kind of have this this kind of a churning going on here, moving right into Putnam County, moving out of Bureau County here, where you kind of have that, like I said, you have this segment here, and then you kind of have that warm air, you can tell, being fed right into that little area here of rotation, and that is what that tornado warning is for. So again, this is moving right towards Granville, Hennepin, of course, being your safe space. Again, this is eventually going to be moving towards Tonopah, Streator eventually as well, so definitely want to keep a close eye on this. Again, most of these circulations so far have been rather short-lived, but that, isn't to say that that's part of the problem too, though, is that, they pop up so quickly that by the time the tornado warning is issued, that particular circulation might be already, diminished. And again, this is heading into Peoria right now. So if you're in Peoria, this is right on your doorstep. Again, we don't have a tornado warning in effect for Peoria right now. They did add a tornado possible tag on the warning. So, that means you still might want to be in your shelter for this, whether that be your basement or wherever, because, there are anywhere along this line here where you can see these little notches. You can almost zoom in and pick them out here. Again, one right over Peoria here, maybe one over Peoria Heights, one right here. Anywhere along there, you might have a brief tornado spin up any second, really. So, and again, that is what we're watching along this line here. Sorry, I had to take a quick drink there. Let me find my mouse. Where'd it go? All right, going to switch back to northern Illinois here. So again, we did have that tornado warning just issued for southwestern McHenry County and northern Kane County here, and then southeastern Boone County as well. So it looks like over Kingston or over Genoa moving east. And again, we do have several areas of circulation that you can pick out here, like I just talked about. Again, one right here just moved east out of DeKalb. One here that just moved east out of Waterman area. And this is probably, I would say, the most concerning one. I would say, I don't want to say that. These are all equally as concerning, I should say. But I would say the strongest one looked like this Waterman one for a little bit, but now the Sycamore, just south of Sycamore here, this one is gaining some strength here. So again, this is heading towards the Fox River area, Elgin, to the Geneva area down to Aurora. This is all heading towards you. Actually, this area of circulation here just south of Sycamore is gaining some strength too. I would not be surprised if if they issue another tornado warning here for parts of southern Kane County here. So I would say if you're in southern Kane County, you might want to think about heading to your safe spot in the next 20 minutes or so. There are several embedded circulations along this line, even where the tornado warning doesn't extend. Again, we have that tornado warning here for northern Kane County into Boone, southwestern Boone, and parts of McHenry County as well. But even, again, where you don't have these tornado warnings, you still see these embedded areas of circulation. So I'm going to go back and circle out a few again. Again, you have this one here that is gaining strength just north of Hinckley, probably going to pass just north here of Hinckley to Big Rock. But if you're in the North Aurora to Aurora area, you want to watch this area of rotation very closely as this heads into the suburbs. Eventually Naperville as well, probably in about an hour from now. This will probably be in Sugar Grove in about a half hour from now. Aurora about 45 minutes or so. Geneva, I would say about 35 minutes. Elgin, you have about a half hour to 40 minutes. And then again, the downtown Chicago, actual Chicago area, probably still about an hour to an hour and a half, I would say. And then eventually those storms will work to the Indiana border, probably by about 11:30, I would say, just looking at this. Again, parts of the line are moving faster than others, so it's kind of hard to time out the whole thing. The southern part of the line is almost moving faster than the northern part, which is interesting. So I'm going to take a quick look here, see if we have any new reports. Nothing new right now. Yeah, not getting a lot of reports lately, actually. All right, so again, I have a friend here that is in the Hampshire area, and he says that, oh yeah, so this is really intensifying quickly. So if you are in Hampshire, or just south of Hampshire especially, to Burlington, Pingree Grove, Plato Township, this area of definitely more intense rotation than what we've been seeing, circled right there, is heading pretty much due east right now. So that is, of pretty great concern to this area here. Pingree Grove, Plato Township, again Burlington. You might have a tornado on the ground at any minute here. Seeing signs of pretty strong rotation here along this line. Again, you have another one here near Maple Park. This one's also trying to spin something up here. This is heading also due east, eventually towards St. Charles, Elburn. Probably going to pass hopefully just north of Elburn. I'll loop it here so we can get a look. But again, you can see how these areas of circulations have been kind of developing here in the last 10 to 15 minutes or so across DeKalb County into Kane County. And then we're looking at that other one here, just north of Hinckley. I was pointing that out a little bit ago. It looks like it might not be quite as impressive as it was maybe 5 to 10 minutes ago. All right, so we just got a new tornado warning. It looks like here. This is for but central Kane County. So again, this is that other area of circulation I was just talking about. This is heading really right for Lily Lake, just north of Elburn probably, but eventually St. Charles. Again, if you're anywhere really in the northern 2/3 of Kane County, you want to be in your shelter, whether that be a basement, a bathroom, interior room of your house where there's no windows. So again, new tornado warning here for Elburn, Batavia, St. Charles, again, Elgin, West Dundee, you are all under tornado warnings too. We've actually seen signs of these areas of rotation strengthening here in the last 10 minutes or so. So you definitely want to take this extremely seriously. Again, any of these little notches along the line here can produce tornadoes at any moment, and unfortunately, we've seen an increase in rotation signatures here in the last 10 minutes or so. So again, if you are in the northern 2/3 of Kane County, you want to be in your safe space right now for sure. Your basement, crawl space, wherever it may be. And then we're watching this line here also as it moves into Kendall County. Starting to see maybe some other signs of weak rotation as well. Not as well defined as what we have over Kane County, but this one here near Hinckley, like I pointed out, you might have another north of Salmonock. So again, if you're in Plano, Yorkville, Oswego, this is heading towards you in the next 30 minutes. Aurora as well. As we've seen these areas of rotation strengthen to the north, I would not be surprised if we see the same thing happen a bit further south here. So we're going to have to watch that very closely as these are heading into more populated areas, of course, very populated areas, as this is brushing into the suburbs now. So we're going to have to watch these little notches here very closely. But again, of more widespread concern are these damaging wind gusts. You can see the radar is picking up velocity up to 60 to 70 miles an hour. Again, we're not seeing as strong of wind signatures as we saw a little bit further west across northwestern Illinois a little earlier, which is good. But again, we are seeing those embedded areas of circulation for sure, and becoming a bit more concerned, as I've said, about Kane County here with these areas of circulation here. Again, we have two really well-defined ones. It looks like maybe the northern one might have actually gotten the last scan, which is good. But again, we have this one here. This is, if you don't have a tornado here, you have very, very strong winds for sure. But again, that area of rotation here is heading towards St. Charles. Again, probably heading towards Lily Lake, Virgil. Again, immediately in the immediate next 5 to 10 minutes, Virgil, Lily Lake, this will be right over you. Elburn, you probably have 15 minutes or so before this hits you. But again, you can see really all along this line here, even these really subtle areas, like I said, right here even. This is about to enter Kendall County. We had another one here. This is kind of weakened, but it's still a little notchy looking. Again, this is the stronger one. All of these are really, areas of circulation that you have to watch as they move east that could spin up a quick tornado here as this very powerful line of storms moves eastward. We are getting some new wind reports here out of Peoria, so I'm going to switch. Oh, another severe warning. All right, that looks like it was for, Grundy, Livingston, and LaSalle County. 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts. So they just went ahead and issued a big old severe thunderstorm warning way out ahead of this. Parts of this warning here in southwestern Livingston won't see the actual storm probably for at least an hour to an hour and a half. But this is, just moving. It's gaining steam. The storm is moving faster as it strengthens. And like I said, we are getting some very impressive velocity data here out of central Illinois. So radar is still indicating actually some of those 80 to 90 mile an hour wind gusts possible in the backside of this storm. Right along, you can see it's having some issues here. So definitely at least 70 mile an hour wind gusts in the Peoria area. Let me click on some of these reports. All right, so we have one here in Pekin of a 65 mile an hour wind gust from a train spotter. We have another one just west of Peoria, 60 miles an hour. Okay, so another one, 58. Another one on the north side of Peoria. We have some damage reports here. Tree blown down on Jefferson Street, so some tree damage. And then we have another report of wind damage here on the north side of Peoria. So it looks like here, just looking at these, the smattering of reports that we just received, it looks like there have been 60 to 70 mile an hour winds observed across the Peoria area. So there's no reason that this won't continue as it heads southeastward towards Bloomington. Another report here from an emergency manager of 60 mile an hour winds. So at least we're not seeing any out of hand reports of 80 miles an hour or greater right now. But this is heading towards Bloomington, Normal, Lincoln, eventually towards rest of central Illinois into Springfield. You can see this warning here pointing towards Springfield eventually. So that is, heading your way rather quickly, honestly. The southern part of the line is really kind of moving quick. But again, going back north here to where we have tornado warnings in effect. I will say also, this area of rotation I was talking about here now, right over really Henry here. It still looks, notchy on radar. You can see that kind of little hook area right there, but not so definitely still might have an embedded tornado in there, and we'll have to watch for any signs of intensification. But again, we do have, sorry, my cat is trying to steal the microphone. But we have we have a few tornado warnings in effect here for Kane County into southwestern McHenry County, and then parts of Boone County as well. Oh, it looks like they canceled the tornado warning for southeastern Boone. Okay, yeah, so they canceled that one, and we still have the tornado warning in effect for, again, this is for, excuse me, northern Kane County and southwestern McHenry. So the Boone part of the warning has been dropped, so if you're in Boone County, this has passed you. You might still be experiencing very strong winds. But again, I'm trying to look through here. All right, sorry, I'm just trying to read through and see if I'm getting any new reports here, but not seeing any as of right now. One second here, I'm going to take a look and make sure. All right, looks all good. All right, anyways, yeah, so I'm not seeing a ton of new reports as of right now, but again, anywhere along this line, 60 to 70 mile an hour wind gusts, again, locally even 80 mile an hour possible. We haven't seen any of those really significant 80 plus mile an hour reports in the last half hour, which is good news. But again, we do have embedded circulations along the line. I saw someone ask about Plano. You actually have an area of rotation kind of heading right for you, right for, I would say, the north side of town. Even though there's no tornado warning in effect, I would still, take this very seriously. You're going to have strong winds either way. Might be another area of rotation trying to form here towards Millbrook. That might head towards the Yorkville, Oswego area as well. And then again, we have another one here near Big Rock. Honestly, you probably have two. One right here just north of Big Rock, one over Big Rock. Again, this one here just northwest of Plano. And then maybe another one, little weaker one here, just south of Sandwich here. These are all moving east at about 50 miles an hour at this point, so they're definitely moving at a good clip. And then it looks like these areas of rotation here over Kane County have at least slightly weakened, it seems, for the moment. So that's good news. I'm trying to check now and see if we're getting any reports. All right, new tornado warning for the Peoria area, it looks like here. All right, so I'm gonna head a little, yes, so now we have another tornado warning here in effect for, this is pointing right at the Bloomington area. This isn't for Bloomington, but this is gonna include part of McLean County. Yeah, so this is for Woodford County, East Central Tazewell County, and West Central McLean County. So this is a tornado warning. Oh yeah, you can totally see that little area of rotation here, right in here, I would say, heading, southeast or southeast here, towards Danvers, Carlock, eventually towards Bloomington if it holds together. Embedded tornado along this line here. They just issued a tornado warning for. So again, if you're in the Bloomington area, heads up. This is heading right for you in about 30 to 45 minutes. I would say it's speeding up, so it's kind of hard to tell exactly how quick it's moving. Looks like we have a report of wind 65 miles an hour out of Putnam County here. One from Henry, let's see, 70 miles an hour from Henry. So again, widespread 60 to 70 mile an hour wind gusts really anywhere along this line, and embedded tornadoes as well. That is really the idea. I would not be surprised here if tornado warning gets issued for parts of Kendall County here in the next 10 to 15 minutes. Again, there are two areas of rotation that I'd watch very closely right now. One of them is heading right towards Oswego, probably going to scrape Plano right now, and then the other one is a little more loose right now, just northwest of Millington. That'll head through central Kendall County here. But if you're in Kendall County, this is knocking on your doorstep. You definitely want to think about heading into your safe place, your storm shelter if a tornado warning does get issued. And even if one doesn't, it depends on where you're at, because again, if I take this tool here, you can see how we have 60 mile an hour winds being surveyed here, but further south by the radar, actually sub-severe winds being surveyed. So you might have varying wind speeds of 60 to 70, maybe some locations of higher wind speed. So that is something to keep an eye on. But again, really anywhere along the line, you might have these little embedded areas of rotation that we're watching. And again, this is really heading right for, Elgin, North Aurora, Oswego, Yorkville in the next 20 minutes or so. Geneva, you as well. Still this tornado warning in effect for the northern two-thirds of Kane County. And again, we are watching these areas of, seeing a big spike in velocity data here over southern Kendall. So we are seeing, so if you're in Sugar Grove to Aurora here, we're seeing wind gusts up to 80 miles an hour being estimated here by radar. And this is really kind of spiking up here in the last 10 minutes or last couple scans here. So this area of very strong wind near Big Rock, likely heading right towards Aurora and Naperville in the next half hour or so. If you're in Aurora to Naperville, I would expect 60 to 70, maybe even localized higher wind gusts if we can get some of these stronger. Getting power almost going out. Some of these stronger gusts to reach the surface here. But you can see if I take the little decoder tool on the right here, the radar is picking up wind speeds up to 80 miles an hour just above the surface here. So some of that might be making it to the ground. And again, we're still keeping an eye on any areas of potential rotation. One near Plano heading right towards Oswego. This one here near Millington is really not very well defined, but it won't take much to spin something up here. So again, I'm going to just zoom out here, look at the whole area. So again, we do have 2 tornado warnings in effect for northern Kane County. Other than that, we have just a huge blanket of severe thunderstorm warnings, in addition to one other new tornado warning here just west of Bloomington. Anywhere along this line here over the next... another warning. Anywhere along this line here over the next 1 to 2 hours, you're going to see wind gusts 60 to 80 miles per hour, and then of course embedded tornadoes that we are also watching for those little embedded circulations along the line here. A new severe thunderstorm warning just went out for Chicago, for Cook County, DuPage County, north to Lake County. This was only actually for 60 mile an hour wind gusts, so this is just a normal severe thunderstorm warning. So it does look like this northern part of the line, we're not seeing any of those really high levels of velocity like we were a little while ago. It's actually only picking values up to 40 to 50 miles an hour here. So if you're in Algonquin to Schaumburg, you might hopefully this stays, the strongest part of this looks like it's going to stay kind of south of this line here, maybe even south of this line. But again, if you're in Aurora, Naperville, new tornado warning, Aurora to Naperville. Okay, that's kind of what I was just wondering. So this is includes Aurora, Naperville, tornado. Radar indicated, not on the ground, of course. It's really hard to see. But again, even if you don't have a tornado, there are probably winds up to 80 miles an hour at least in here. being surveyed or being sampled by the radar here. So again, tornado warning here for Aurora. I'm going to have to get off here because that includes me. So yeah, I'm just looking here. Again, so I'm going to have to hop off here because that is about to hit me. But we will still be posting warnings over the next, as much as we can. Again, I'm going to have to take shelter here and, there's the tornado warning. So again, a new tornado warning just issued for Aurora, Naperville, North Aurora to Warrenville. We'll let it read it out here in a minute. Confirmed tornado over Sugar Grove. Oh boy.
Chicago has issued a tornado warning for southeastern Kane County in northeastern Illinois.
Right there.
Southwestern DuPage County in northeastern Illinois.
Okay, I need to.
PM. At 8:52 p.m., a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Sugar Grove, for 8 miles northeast of Plano, moving east at 40 miles per hour.
Okay, so there has been a confirmed tornado over.
Source. Radar indicated.
It's not saying it in the warning, but I am seeing reports of a confirmed tornado over Sugar Grove here. Yeah, so that is a. Okay. Yeah, so there's a confirmed tornado here heading for Aurora, Naperville, North Aurora to Warrenville. If you are anywhere in the Aurora to North Aurora, Naperville, Warrenville, Winfield area, get to your basement or shelter right now. If you don't have a basement, go to your bathroom, lowest floor. Again, we do have another area of circulation heading right for Oswego as well. If you're in Oswego, I would also get to your basement as well. But anywhere along the line, 70 to 80 mile an hour winds. You might even have some 90 mile an hour winds here now in this Sugar Grove to Aurora corridor. This is really the strongest segment of the line right here, heading towards Oswego to Aurora to Naperville. Elburn, this is also very strong winds. You still have this tornado warning for Kane County. Heading east here. But again, if you are not a new tornado warning. But again, this line is moving east. We just had that tornado warning issued for Aurora to Naperville for pretty much the southern half of Kane County. You're under a tornado warning. Of southwestern DuPage, you're under a tornado warning. Get to your basement or shelter. Oswego, again, there's another area of embedded rotation heading for you. Very strong winds, if nothing else. So I'm going to have to hop off here because this is heading right for me. So I'm going to do what I can do. But everybody, again, the strongest part of this line here is heading from Kane, Kendall, to the strongest part of this line. Tornadoes, wind gusts 70 to 80 miles an hour, locally even higher in this area. So again, Yorkville, Oswego, Aurora, Naperville, North Aurora, Warrenville, all those areas you want to be in your basement if you can. So I apologize. I will try to get back on after this passes. But thank you for watching, and again, please take these warnings seriously. Have a way to receive warnings. The news is broadcasting everything live right now, I'm sure. But again, we will try to get back on as soon as we can, but there is a circulation heading right for me, so I'm going to have to take care of that. So again, Sugar Grove, Aurora, North Aurora, Naperville, be in your basement. There is a confirmed tornado, and I would say this over Oswego. This looks, yeah, okay, I'm going to have to go. All right, well, we will be back as soon as we can, like I said. But we do have, again, this segment of the line here from Kendall into northern, it's about to be into northern Will, onto southwestern DuPage and eastern Kane County. That is the strongest part of the line. So I will be back when I can. Everyone be safe. Take